Chosen One, I welcome you to this moment of reflection and understanding. You've arrived at this message not by accident, but through divine guidance. Your journey, though, filled with its challenges and uncertainties, has led you to this very point where the light of God's wisdom is shining brightly upon you. I know that you've walked through the struggles and faced many obstacles, yet still you are here. There's a reason for that. God's hand has been upon your life, shaping you, guiding you, and preparing you for this time. This is not just a coincidence. This is divine timing at work, and this message was meant to reach you at this very moment. I want to acknowledge the spiritual path you've been walking. You felt the weight of being different, the sense that you don't quite fit into the world's expectations or standards. You've sensed a pull, a calling that others may not understand, but deep inside, you know that something greater is unfolding. Perhaps you've even felt misunderstood, isolated, or as though you're carrying a burden that others can't see. The truth is, you are chosen. You are walking a divine path that is uniquely yours, a path that requires strength, resilience, and a connection to something far greater than what the world offers. And it is this path, this divine journey that has brought you to this video today. Now I must share with you that this message is not for everyone. There are those who will hear these words and they may not resonate. That's because they are not meant to. Not everyone will understand the depth of what is being shared, but if you feel something stir in your spirit, if these words speak directly to your soul, then you know that you are meant to hear them. You've been chosen not by accident, but for a specific purpose. And this message is one of many that will bring clarity and understanding to the experiences you've been having. If you're still here, if you're listening intently, it's because you're ready to receive what God has for you in this season. This message is one of peace, clarity, and strength. By the end of this video, my prayer is that you will feel a sense of calm settle into your heart, that any confusion or doubt will be replaced with deep understanding. The things you've been questioning, the moments that have left you wondering about your purpose, these things will become clear. You'll finally understand why people have been staring at you in silence, why you felt like an outsider at times, and why you seem to stir something in others that they can't explain. There's a divine reason for all of this, and it's time for you to embrace it fully. As we move forward, I invite you to make a simple declaration of your alignment. If this message resonates with you, if you feel the divine connection stirring in your heart, I encourage you to comment 444 below. This isn't just a comment. It's a declaration to the universe, a statement of your alignment with the divine purpose in your life. It's a symbol of your readiness to embrace the truth of who you are, to accept the divine calling upon your life, and to walk confidently in the path that has been laid before you. This is a moment for you to affirm that you are not just another person. You are chosen, you are aligned, and you are ready to step into your purpose. Chosen One, there is a divine truth about you that I want you to deeply understand. You carry an invisible mark, a mark that was placed upon you by God Himself. This mark is not one that can be seen with human eyes, but it is felt deeply in the spirit of those who are in your presence. It is a mark of assignment, not of superiority or pride. This mark signifies that you have been chosen for a specific purpose in the grand design of the universe, a purpose that only you can fulfill. It is not about being better than others. It is about being aligned with God's will, carrying out His divine plan with grace and authority. When God chooses someone, He marks them not with arrogance or entitlement, but with responsibility. This mark is about your assignment, your unique purpose, and the role you are destined to play in the world. You are set apart, and it is not by chance that you bear this mark. God has intentionally placed it upon you because you have been prepared for what is to come. Now, this mark does something remarkable. Though invisible to the physical eye, it carries an immense weight. The moment you step into a room, you shift the atmosphere. This mark on your life is not loud. It does not make grand announcements or call for attention. Yet its presence is undeniable. When you walk into a space, even without saying a word, the energy changes. You may notice that people begin to stare at you, their eyes following you, but no words are spoken. This is not an accident. Your presence alone causes a disruption in the room because the mark you carry exudes an influence that shifts the air even when you remain silent. This influence you have is not something you intentionally create. It is something that God has placed in you. It is as though the calmness and order you carry emanate naturally, settling the chaos around you. While the world often feels chaotic, disordered, and emotional, you have been shaped to carry a quiet peace, an unshakable foundation into those places. There is a stillness in you that resonates with the soul, a silent strength that speaks louder than words ever could. Even when you do not open your mouth, people sense that you are different. The world around you may be in turmoil, but your presence brings a sense of balance and calm. You do not need to do anything to create this effect. It is who you are because of the divine mark placed on you. And this is where the tension begins. People are often unable to understand you because they are unaccustomed to encountering someone like you. They don't know how to categorize you, and so they watch. They observe your every move, your stillness, your quiet confidence. They can't fit you into the boxes they've created for others because you do not belong there. You are not like everyone else, and that is unsettling for many. They can't define you or control you, so they watch you in silence, trying to make sense of what they feel in your presence. They may stare at you with curiosity or even with unease, and it is this discomfort that often results in silence. People are unsure of what to say to you because something inside them tells them that you are not someone they can easily engage with or manipulate. You don't need their approval, and that creates a space between you and them, a space that they struggle to navigate. You may feel this tension, often chosen one. When people stare at you but say nothing, you may begin to question yourself. You might wonder if something is wrong with you, or if you are doing something to make others uncomfortable. Let me reassure you, this silence is not rejection. This silence is recognition. People stare because they sense something in you that they cannot explain, something they have never encountered before. It is not that you are doing something wrong, or that you are being judged negatively. The silence is a reflection of the authority that you carry, a recognition of the divine mark that rests upon you. You are being watched because your presence is affecting them, whether they understand it or not. Now I invite you to embrace this silence, chosen one. Do not shrink back from it. Do not try to fill the quiet with words or actions. You are not responsible for the discomfort others feel in your presence. Their discomfort is not your burden to carry. Instead, recognize that your stillness is part of your divine purpose. You have been intentionally crafted to carry this mark, to walk into spaces and bring a sense of peace, to disrupt chaos without saying a word. You are the calm in the storm, the anchor in the turbulence. Those who stare at you but remain silent are not rejecting you. They are processing the divine energy that emanates from you. They are witnessing something in you that they cannot easily comprehend, and in their attempt to understand it, they fall silent. Dot. This silence is not something you need to fear or resist. It is part of your spiritual authority. As you walk in the divine assignment that God has placed upon you, you will naturally attract attention. Some will be drawn to your presence because it brings them a sense of calm and clarity, even if they don't understand why. Others may be intimidated by your silent strength, but that intimidation is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of the power of the mark God has placed upon you. Your quiet authority has a way of unsettling those who are not grounded in their own spiritual walk, and that discomfort is often mistaken for judgment. But let me tell you, chosen one, this is not something to fear. You are not meant to fit into the world's expectations. You are meant to stand apart, to carry the divine mark that God has placed upon you, to walk in your assignment with grace, and to let your presence speak volumes without the need for words. The silence you encounter is a recognition of your divine purpose, not a rejection of who you are. It is time for you to embrace the stillness, to walk confidently in the spaces God has called you to occupy, knowing that your presence is enough. You do not need to fill the silence. You do not need to explain yourself. The mark upon you speaks for itself. As you continue on your journey, I encourage you to remember this. Your silence is powerful. The stillness you carry is a testament to the authority and divine assignment placed upon you. Do not shrink from it, and do not try to fill the gaps. Embrace it, because in that silence, you are exactly where God wants you to be. The stares you receive are not a sign of your inadequacy. They are a sign of your divine influence. Let your presence be your testimony, and trust that God is using you in ways that you may not fully understand yet. Stay anchored, stay grounded, and know that your assignment is unfolding exactly as it should. Chosen one, let me bring you into a deeper understanding of something that has perhaps troubled you for some time. When you walk into a room and feel the weight of eyes upon you, yet hear nothing, there is a reason for that. It is not because of confusion, nor is it a judgment of who you are. No, this silence is the result of something far more profound: spiritual recognition. What you are experiencing is not just a passing glance or a fleeting stare. It is an instinctive, deep-rooted recognition at the soul level, one that occurs before the mind even has the chance to process it. There is something within you that speaks to the spirit of others in a way that transcends human understanding. The truth is, the spirit recognizes spirit, you chosen. One carry a presence that cannot be ignored, even if no words are spoken. When people encounter you, even in silence, their souls register something profound, something that they might not even have the words to express. It's an intuitive awareness that goes beyond the surface level of who you are as a person. It's not about your appearance, your actions, or your outward behavior. It is something deeper, something spiritual. Their spirits can feel the weight of your divine calling, and this deep intuitive recognition often causes them to pause, to reflect, and in many cases, to become still. This awareness doesn't always come with a clear understanding. For many, it's something they can't articulate, but they feel it nonetheless. They sense the power that emanates from you, the power of your presence, the authority that doesn't need to be proclaimed, but simply is. And because they cannot comprehend it or put it into words, they often respond with silence. For some, it's an uncomfortable silence because your presence disrupts the flow of the world they are used to. You walk in with a spiritual energy that unsettles the ordinary, and this dissonance can evoke fear, discomfort, or even a sense of awe. It's not a fear of you personally, but a fear of what your presence represents, the divine power, the calling, and the reminder that there is more to life than what they may have been able to see or understand. It's important for you to understand that this fear is not your burden. This discomfort is not a reflection of your inadequacy or anything lacking in you. It is simply a natural reaction to the presence of something greater than what the human mind can comprehend. Your spiritual presence disrupts the status quo, the comfortable patterns of life that people have grown accustomed to. You carry something that forces them to question, even if they don't know what exactly they are questioning. It's as if your presence holds up a mirror, one that reflects not just the surface, but something deeper within them. For many, this mirror is unsettling. They don't know how to engage with someone who reflects back at them the parts of themselves they haven't yet reconciled, or the truths they are not ready to confront. That is why people stare in silence. They are not staring at you because of your appearance or because of anything superficial. They are staring because they are sensing something spiritual, something that they cannot control, and this sense of power and depth can be intimidating. They recognize the authority you carry, but they are unsure of how to respond to it. They are processing a recognition that their minds cannot fully grasp. You don't need to explain it to them, and you don't need to justify your presence. The discomfort they feel in the silence is not a judgment of who you are. It's simply a reaction to the recognition of something higher, something that their spirit acknowledges, but their intellect cannot yet understand. It's easy to feel unsettled by these stares, to question your worth or your place in the world when others react in this way. But I want to encourage you, chosen one, remain steady. Do not allow these stares to make you doubt yourself or your purpose. The silence you receive is not rejection, it is recognition. It is a spiritual acknowledgement of the mark you carry, a sign that your presence is having an impact on those around you, whether they are consciously aware of it or not. The discomfort they feel is not a reflection of your failure. It is a reflection of the divine presence you carry. The deeper their spirit recognizes the power within you, the more they may pull back, unsure of how to engage with something they cannot control or understand. In those moments, you must stand firm in the truth of who you are. You are not responsible for their discomfort, and you are not required to make them feel comfortable. Your assignment is to stay aligned with your divine purpose, to walk in your calling with grace and confidence. Let them stare. Let them feel what they feel, but do not allow their reactions to shift you from your path. The silence is not something to be feared or avoided. It is a sign that you are walking in alignment with the divine plan for your life. You are meant to stand apart, to be set apart, and to carry the light of God into spaces that need it most. Remember, chosen, one that when spirit recognizes spirit, it is not a matter of intellect or understanding. It is a deep, soul-level recognition that bypasses the mind and speaks directly to the heart. Some people may never have encountered someone who carries the level of spiritual presence you do. They may not understand why they feel what they feel in your presence, but they cannot deny it. Their silence is a testament to the power you carry, a power that is not of this world, but of the divine realm. This is why you must remain steady, remain unmoved by their silence, and continue to walk in the truth of who you are. There is a great peace in this realization, chosen one. You no longer need to seek validation or understanding from others. The recognition you receive is not from their words, but from their spirit. The truth of who you are will be made known, not through your explanations, but through your presence. When you remain grounded in your purpose, When you walk in alignment with God's will, you become a living testament to His power and His plan. The silence, the staring, the discomfort, all of it is part of the divine process that is unfolding within you. And as you continue to embrace who you are, as you continue to walk boldly in the purpose God has set before you, you will find that the silence transforms. It will no longer be unsettling or uncomfortable. It will become a space of reverence, a space of recognition that is quiet but filled with awe. So the next time you find yourself in a room, feeling the weight of eyes upon you, remember the silence is not your burden to carry. It is a recognition of your divine calling, and it is a sign that you are walking in alignment with the spiritual path that has been laid before you. Let them stare in silence. Let them process what they feel. Your job is not to fill the silence, but to remain steady, to remain grounded, and to continue walking in the divine purpose that only you can fulfill. Trust that God is using you in ways that are beyond what you can see right now, and know that His timing is perfect. You are not alone in this journey. Keep moving forward, steady and unmoved, for you are exactly where you are meant to be. Chosen one. It's crucial for you to understand that the spiritual recognition you receive isn't just a passive experience. It is a powerful invisible force that connects you to the energy of the universe, to the divine plan God has for you. This force, though silent, is incredibly potent, and it's something that can't be ignored. When people sense this presence, it awakens something deep within them. It's as though their spirit instinctively knows they are in the presence of something extraordinary. They may not always know what that something is, but they feel it. And in that moment, they stop. They pause. The silence isn't because they don't care, but because they don't know how to respond to the magnitude of what they are encountering. When you walk into a room, your spiritual frequency vibrates at a different level. This isn't about arrogance or boasting. It's simply the truth of who you are. You are connected to something higher, something that transcends the ordinary experiences of everyday life. And this connection is felt by others on a subconscious level, even before their minds can make sense of it. It's like an unspoken language of the soul, one that is understood beyond words. The power of spiritual presence is such that it disrupts the status quo, the predictable routines and patterns that people have come to rely on. You are like a pebble thrown into a calm pond. Your presence ripples outward, causing a disturbance that others can't ignore. But because they don't fully understand what is happening, they are left with silence. What you must remember, chosen one, is that this silence is not a reflection of your inadequacy. It is not a sign that you are too different or too strange to fit in. On the contrary, your presence has a profound impact because you are fulfilling the divine purpose set before you. You are not here to blend in, to follow the crowd, or to follow the path others have carved out for you. You are here to carve your own path, to walk a unique journey that only you can walk. And that path, though it may feel isolating at times, is one that leads to something far greater than you could imagine. The silence, the stares, the discomfort, they are simply the reactions of people who have not yet come into full alignment with their own purpose. But your journey is unfolding exactly as it is meant to dot people who are spiritually attuned, whether they consciously understand it or not sense the power you carry. And this sense of power can be intimidating to them. It's not that they feel threatened by you. It's that they are confronted with the awareness of their own limitations, their own spiritual disconnection. The energy you bring into the room forces them to question things they may not be ready to face. Your stability, your quiet confidence exposes the instability in their own lives. This is why often people will stare at you in silence. It's a silent acknowledgement that they are in the presence of someone who operates at a different level. They are trying to make sense of it, to categorize it in a way that fits their understanding. But your spiritual presence doesn't fit into any of their boxes. You can't be easily understood, and that unsettles people who are used to controlling their environment with their words, actions, and judgments. This chosen one is where you must remain steadfast. Don't allow their discomfort to move you. Don't let their silent stares make you question your value or your worth. This is not about you needing to change to make them more comfortable. It's about you staying true to who you are and recognizing that this silence is not something negative. It is something sacred. It is a sign that you are fulfilling your divine assignment. It is a sign that you are walking the path that was laid out for you long before you were born. Embrace the fact that you are different, that you carry a presence that others can't quite explain, because that difference is exactly what makes you a vessel for God's purpose. You are not here to be understood by everyone. In fact, the more you walk in your purpose, the more you will realize that not everyone is meant to understand you. There will be those who will try to change you, who will try to pressure you into fitting into their idea of what's normal. But remember this, you're not meant to be normal. You are meant to be a light in the darkness, a beacon of truth that shines even in the most chaotic of circumstances. Your purpose is not to shrink yourself so others feel more at ease. It is not to lower your standards or dim your light to accommodate those who are not yet ready to rise to the level of understanding you carry. Your purpose is to remain grounded, to stay aligned with the divine calling on your life, and to trust that the right people will recognize you for who you truly are. As you continue to move through life, there will be moments when you will feel the weight of the silence in the room. You will feel the eyes on you, and at times it will be uncomfortable. You may even wonder if you are doing something wrong. But I assure you, chosen one, you are not. The silence you receive is an acknowledgement of the divine authority you carry. It's a recognition that you are different, but not in a bad way, in a way that challenges the status quo and invites people to examine their own lives. When people stare at you in silence, they are subconsciously acknowledging your divine presence. They may not know how to process it yet, but their souls are aware that something is different about you. You must remain steady in this process. The world will try to make you doubt your path, to make you question your purpose. But the truth is that you are walking in alignment with the divine. The silence is not rejection. It is simply a response to the divine energy you carry. Your assignment is to remain true to that calling, to walk with grace, and to let the silence speak for itself. As you continue on your journey, you will begin to notice that the silence becomes less uncomfortable. The more you walk in your purpose, the more people will begin to understand that your presence is not a threat, but an invitation. They will begin to recognize the strength that comes from your stillness, the wisdom that emanates from your silence, and they will start to engage with you, not out of fear, but out of reverence. So the next time you walk into a room and feel the eyes upon you, don't be quick to shrink or second guess yourself. Don't rush to explain yourself or fill the silence with words. Embrace the silence, knowing that it is a reflection of the divine presence within you. Let the stillness settle your heart, knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. You are not here to fit into the world's mold. You are here to disrupt it with your divine energy, to challenge others to rise to the calling that God has placed on their lives. The silence, the stairs, they are just the beginning. And as you continue to walk in the strength and purpose God has given you, you will see the shift. The silence will turn into respect. The stares will turn into conversations, and the discomfort will turn into a deep recognition of who you are and the divine purpose you carry. Keep moving forward. Chosen one, your presence is enough. Chosen. 1. I want to address something that many of you have experienced, and it may be causing you discomfort or confusion. It's the natural tendency to feel the need to explain yourself when others stare at you in silence or remain distant. When people look at you with a quiet intensity, when their gaze lingers, but their lips remain sealed, you might feel compelled to fill the void, to explain yourself, to clarify what they don't understand. The silence in the room, the lingering looks can create a pressure that prompts you to make others feel more comfortable. You might feel like you need to justify your actions, your presence, or the divine mark you carry. But I'm here to remind you that doing so often only worsens the situation. The truth is, explanations rarely bring the clarity you think they will, especially when they are directed toward people who are not spiritually aligned with you. When you try to explain yourself to someone who does not share your spiritual perspective, you are speaking a language they cannot understand. No matter how clearly you try to articulate your thoughts, their perception is limited by their own level of understanding, and your words may fall on deaf ears. What you say may not land in the way you intend because their hearts and minds are not prepared to receive the depth of your truth. Instead of bridging a gap, your explanation often creates more confusion as they filter your words through their own biases, insecurities, and lack of spiritual awareness. The result is a conversation that leads nowhere, where neither side truly understands the other, and both parties are left feeling frustrated. I want you to understand this, chosen one. Sometimes, silence is far more powerful than words. The wisdom of choosing silence over unnecessary explanation is profound. If you look to the example of Jesus, you will see how he handled situations where he was misunderstood. There were many times when he was questioned, accused, or criticized, and rather than defending himself or offering explanations, he remained silent. Jesus understood that not everyone was ready to receive the message he was sharing. He knew that some hearts were closed, that some minds were clouded by their own fears and doubts, and that no amount of explanation would change that. He chose silence because he understood that sometimes the most profound truths cannot be communicated through words. They can only be experienced, seen, and felt. In those moments, his silence spoke louder than any defense ever could. There is great wisdom in this approach, chosen one. When you find yourself in a situation where people are staring at you, trying to understand your every move, or questioning your actions, remember that you do not owe anyone an explanation. Not every stare requires a response. Not every silence demands to be filled. There are moments when offering words will only dilute the power of your presence. When people stare at you in silence, it's not always because they are judging you. It's often because they are feeling something they can't fully comprehend. And in those moments, your peace, your stillness, your quiet strength is the answer. It's a reminder that you don't need to perform or explain yourself to anyone. You are walking in alignment with a higher calling, and that calling doesn't require approval from those who are not yet in tune with it. Protecting your peace means understanding when to speak and when to remain silent. Not every person deserves access to your inner world. Not everyone has earned the privilege of hearing your story or understanding your journey. Your journey is sacred, and it is unique to you. It is shaped by the divine, and it unfolds in its own time and according to God's perfect plan. You must learn to discern who is worthy of hearing the depth of your experiences and who is simply seeking to fill the silence with their own assumptions or judgments. It's not that you are hiding anything. It's that you are guarding the sacredness of your journey. You do not need to explain your divine assignment to those who are not spiritually aligned with you. There is a lesson here. Chosen one, do not force others to understand your spiritual journey before it's time. Your path is unfolding as God intends, and there are moments that are meant to remain between you and Him. Some parts of your journey are too sacred to be shared prematurely. Not everyone will understand what you're going through, and that's okay. It's not your responsibility to make others understand you. In fact, sometimes the more you try to explain, the more you inadvertently open yourself to judgment or misinterpretation. People who are not spiritually aligned with you will never fully grasp the depth of your experiences because their perspectives are limited. But this is not something to be discouraged by. It is simply the way it is meant to be. You are walking a path that is not meant to be understood by everyone. Not everyone will recognize the divine mark on your life. Not everyone will understand the peace you carry or the strength that comes from the quiet authority you embody. But that is perfectly fine. Your journey is not meant to be defined by the approval or understanding of others. It is meant to be guided by God's hand, and He alone knows the fullness of what He is doing in your life. So when you are faced with stares, with silence, with confusion, do not feel compelled to explain yourself. Instead, trust that your presence speaks for itself. The peace you carry, the strength you exude, and the calm you bring into every situation are more powerful than any words you could offer. In moments of silence, choose peace. Choose to remain steady and grounded in your truth. The silence is not a void that needs to be filled with words. It is a sacred space where your spirit can continue to grow and develop without the interference of outside opinions. Let the silence be your sanctuary, a place where you are free from the noise of the world. Trust that those who are meant to understand will in time recognize the weight of your presence. The right people will see the divine mark on your life and will approach you with respect and reverence. You don't need to force their understanding. You simply need to remain aligned with God's purpose for your life. The more you embrace the power of silence, the more you will come to understand that not every reaction requires a response. You do not have to explain yourself to those who are not ready to hear your truth. Trust that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should, and that the right people will be drawn to you when the time is right. You are walking a path of divine purpose, and every step you take is guided by God's wisdom. Keep walking with confidence, with peace, and with a deep understanding that the silence around you is not your burden to carry. It is simply the space where God is working, refining and preparing you for what is to come. Chosen one, as you continue to walk the path that God has laid before you, you will inevitably encounter moments where silence surrounds you, where others stare without speaking, and where you may feel compelled to fill that silence. It's important to remember that this need to explain is a reflection of human conditioning, where we've been taught that we must always explain ourselves to be understood. From a young age, we're often asked to justify our actions, our beliefs, and our very existence. But as you step further into your divine calling, you will come to understand that not every silence requires an explanation, and not every stare demands a response. The pressure to explain yourself often comes from a place of wanting to be seen and understood. But in truth, the most profound truths don't need to be explained. They need to be experienced. When you try to explain your spiritual journey to someone who is not yet attuned to the same spiritual frequency as you, it's like trying to convey a deep, complex piece of music to someone who doesn't know the language of music. They may hear the notes, but they won't understand the depth, the emotion, or the intent behind it. The explanation may sound beautiful, but it won't resonate in their soul the way it does in yours. This is not a failure on your part. It is simply the reality that not everyone is spiritually prepared to receive the message you carry. You are walking a divine journey, one that has been uniquely crafted for you, and it is not meant for everyone to fully understand at this moment in time. Your job is not to force others to understand, but to continue walking in alignment with God's purpose for you. There is immense power in silence, chosen one. As you embrace the moments of stillness, you will find that you no longer feel the need to fill the gaps with explanations. Instead, you will begin to trust that your presence alone speaks volumes. It is the presence of God within you that others are responding to, not just your words. In those moments, when people stare at you, when they remain silent, remember that your spiritual presence is a language in itself. It is a silent message that speaks to their soul, whether they consciously recognize it or not. The silence is often a moment of deep reflection for them, a time when they are forced to confront their own inner world and the things they have not yet reconciled. And in this moment of silence, you are being refined. You are being strengthened. There is a divine purpose in this season of quiet, and it is one that you must embrace. You are learning to stand firm in your truth, not seeking validation or approval from anyone but God. You are learning that your worth is not determined by the opinions of others, but by the divine calling upon your life. As you stand firm in your truth, the need to explain yourself fades. You begin to understand that you do not need to justify your journey, your calling, or the mark God has placed upon your life. It is a sacred calling, one that will unfold in God's perfect timing, and you must trust that His plan is greater than your understanding. In this silence, there is growth. There is strength being built in you. You are being prepared for something greater, something beyond what you can see right now. The more you embrace this silence, the more you will come to realize that it is not a space of emptiness, but one of deep spiritual nourishment. In the stillness, you are connecting with God in ways that words cannot express. You are aligning yourself with His will, trusting that the right people will recognize your purpose when the time is right. Those who are meant to walk alongside you will understand your journey, not through your explanation, but through their own spiritual recognition. As you continue to navigate this path, chosen one, you will begin to see that the silence is not something to be feared. It is not something to be avoided. Instead, it is a gift, a space where God is preparing you, refining you, and strengthening you for what is to come. The more you trust in this process, the more you will find peace in the silence. You will no longer feel the need to rush to explain or to fill the void. You will begin to understand that the silence is a sacred space where you are becoming who God has called you to be. This lesson is about discernment, knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Not everyone has earned access to your inner world, and that's okay. You don't need to share your deepest truths with everyone, nor should you feel compelled to explain yourself to those who are not ready to understand. It is not a rejection of others. It is a recognition of the sacredness of your journey. You are walking in alignment with God's divine purpose, and not everyone is meant to understand that purpose just yet. Some people will be drawn to you, while others may remain distant, and that is perfectly okay. God has designed your path to unfold in His perfect timing, and the right people will be there when the time is right. You are learning chosen. One, that you are not responsible for managing how others perceive you. You are only responsible for remaining true to the calling that God has placed upon your life. The more you walk in alignment with God's purpose, the more you will come to realize that your presence alone will begin to shift the atmosphere in ways you can't even comprehend. Your journey is unfolding, and though it may seem slow or quiet, it is exactly how God has planned it. Every moment of silence, every stare, every pause is part of your spiritual growth and refinement. As you embrace the silence, chosen one. One, know that you are not alone. God is with you in every quiet moment, in every glance that is not understood, and in every space where words are unnecessary. He is shaping you, preparing you, and building you into the person you are destined to be. Your spiritual journey is sacred, and there is no need to explain it to anyone who is not ready to hear it. Trust that those who are meant to walk alongside you will come in their own time. Your job is to stay aligned with God's will, to remain steady in the silence, and to continue walking in the divine purpose that He has set before you. Remember this: the silence is not your burden to carry. It is a space of divine preparation. It is the quiet before the storm, the calm before the breakthrough. Embrace the stillness, embrace the silence, and trust that God is doing more than you can see. The shift is coming, and when it does, it will be as natural and as powerful as the presence of the divine mark upon your life. Stay steady, stay grounded, and continue to walk in faith. The silence will evolve into understanding, the stares will turn into respect, and the discomfort will transform into a deep recognition of the divine presence that you carry. Chosen one, as you continue on this path, you may feel like the silence around you will never end. The stares, the questions left unasked, the whispers that never quite reach your ears, they may seem endless. Yet I am here to remind you that this season of silence is not permanent. What you are experiencing is not a punishment or a sign of something gone wrong. It is part of God's divine protection and His perfect timing. The silence you are living in and the stares that accompany it are not random or without purpose. They are a sacred moment in a journey of preparation, a time where God is shaping you, refining you, and building you for what is to come. You may not understand it fully now, but know this: every quiet moment is divinely orchestrated to bring you to the fullness of your purpose. The recognition you are waiting for, the acknowledgement that feels so elusive, will come in its due season. And when it does, it will not come with the sting of judgment or misunderstanding. Know the recognition that is coming will be filled with respect, reverence, and awe. It will not be based on assumptions or misconceptions. It will be the fruit of the silent work God has been doing in you. While others may not see the depth of who you are right now, that does not mean they will never understand it. The shift from silence to clarity is not about changing who you are or shrinking yourself to fit the mold others expect. It is about God revealing His work at just the right time. The timing of your recognition will be perfect, and when it arrives, you will be ready to walk in it with grace, humility, and confidence. But this transition is not something you can force. The process of silent preparation is sacred, and it must unfold in God's time, not yours. There may be moments when you feel the urge to rush ahead to demand the recognition you believe you deserve. You may feel tempted to explain yourself or to seek validation from those around you. But I urge you, chosen one, to resist this temptation. Trust the process. Trust that every moment of silence, every unspoken word, is part of God's preparation for the fullness of your purpose. When the time is right, others will begin to approach you differently. They will speak to you with the respect that has been long overdue. The shift will happen naturally, not because you forced it, but because God has aligned everything in perfect timing. It is vital during this season to remain grounded and aligned with your purpose. Do not rush the process. Do not seek to change the way others perceive you. The recognition will come in its own time, and when it does, it will be more powerful and meaningful than anything you could have forced or rushed. You are being prepared for something much greater than you can yet fully understand. And God is shaping you during this quiet season to handle the fullness of His calling when it comes. There is no need to force or manipulate the outcome. Your role is to remain steady, anchored in your faith, and aligned with the divine purpose that has been placed on your life. The more you resist the urge to rush, the more you will find peace in this season of silence. You are being prepared in ways that are not immediately visible, but the fruit will be evident when the time is right. It's also important to recognize that in this time of silence, you are learning valuable lessons about patience, trust, and self-assurance. These are qualities that will serve you well when the recognition comes, because you will know without a doubt that it was not your effort that brought you to this moment. It was God's timing, God's plan, and God's divine work in your life. You will not need to prove yourself to anyone, because the clarity that will come will be a result of God's unfolding work, not your own striving. And when that moment of recognition does come, it will not just be a moment of external validation. It will be a confirmation of everything God has been doing in your life, even in the quiet, unseen moments. As you walk through this season of silence, I encourage you to remain focused on your spiritual growth. Do not allow the silence to distract you from the inner work God is doing in you. This is a time for deep reflection, self-discovery, and spiritual alignment. Use this time to strengthen your relationship with God, to deepen your understanding of your purpose, and to grow in your capacity to handle the responsibilities that lie ahead. Trust that the silence is not an indication that you are forgotten or overlooked. It is simply the space where God is preparing you for the next phase of your journey. When the shift comes, it will not be loud or dramatic. It will be subtle but undeniable. You will begin to notice that the people who once stared at you in silence will now approach you with respect and understanding. They will speak to you in ways they never did before, and the recognition you've been waiting for will arrive not with fanfare, but with the quiet confidence of those who have finally recognized the divine mark on your life. The shift will not be about you changing. It will be about others, seeing you for who you truly are, divinely chosen, set apart, and walking in alignment with God's plan. And when that shift occurs, don't let pride or ego take over. Stay humble, chosen one, because the recognition that comes is not a reflection of your worth, but a confirmation of God's work in your life. It is a testimony of His faithfulness and His timing. The shift is not about your glory. It's about the glory of God being revealed through you. When others begin to see you clearly, don't become consumed with proving that you were right all along. Instead, use the opportunity to continue walking in humility and grace, knowing that it was God who brought you through the silence and into the light. Remember, the shift is coming, but it's not about forcing it. It's about trusting the process and remaining grounded in God's timing. As you embrace this season of silence, remember that it is part of God's divine plan. He is refining you, preparing you for the greatness that lies ahead. Trust that when the time is right, the recognition will come, not with the chaos of the world's applause, but with the quiet, steady affirmation of God's purpose in your life. And when that moment arrives, you will be ready to embrace it fully, because you will know that the shift was never about you. It was about fulfilling the divine calling that God has placed upon your life. Stay steady, stay aligned, and continue to trust in the process, for the shift is coming, and it will be more beautiful than you could have ever imagined. Chosen one. As you walk through this season of quiet preparation, I want to remind you that the silence you are experiencing isn't a void. It's an opportunity for deep inner transformation. It is during this time of stillness that you are being molded and refined, not just for the recognition that is coming, but for the strength you will need to sustain the blessings God has set aside for you. This is where the foundation for your future is being built, one quiet moment at a time. The silence is a preparation ground, a sacred space where God is fortifying your spirit, deepening your faith, and strengthening your resolve. Every day you walk through the silence, every time you feel the weight of the stairs that go unspoken, you are being prepared to carry the weight of divine purpose with grace. The shift that is coming will be powerful, yes, but it will also be subtle. It will not be an overnight change, nor will it be something you can force. Often, when we are in a season of silence, there is a temptation to push for the shift, to try to hasten the recognition and force others to see us for who we are. But I want to emphasize, this chosen one, the shift will come at exactly the right time. And when it does, it will be marked by clarity, not by confusion. The divine timing of your recognition is perfect. What you've been waiting for, what you've been working toward in the quiet moments, will come into fruition when you are fully ready to receive it. And when that time arrives, it will not be about you having to prove anything. It will be a quiet, powerful affirmation that God's plan for your life is unfolding exactly as He intended. The season of silence you are walking through right now is not one of inactivity, but of divine preparation. It is in these silent moments that you are learning to trust God's process fully, without needing to control the timing. The world may tell you to rush to chase recognition, to seek approval, but God's way is different. His way is slower, more deliberate, and more profound. God is preparing you for something that is not just about the external recognition, but about deep internal growth. During this time, He is developing your character, deepening your understanding of your purpose, and strengthening your foundation. When the recognition comes, it will not overwhelm you, because you will have been prepared to stand firm in the truth of who you are. As you remain grounded in this process, you must also trust that when the time is right, those who are meant to see you for who you truly are will recognize the divine mark upon your life. The silence you are experiencing is not about you being overlooked. It is about God's protection. It is a season where God is keeping you from distractions, keeping you from receiving attention that is not aligned with your true purpose. The recognition you are waiting for is not meant to come prematurely. If it came too soon, it would distract you, divert you from your true calling. But God, in His wisdom, is ensuring that when the recognition does arrive, it will be in alignment with His perfect plan for your life. He is protecting you from the pressure, the expectations, and the distractions that come with recognition. The silence you are experiencing is part of this divine protection. You may wonder, chosen. Why the silence seems to last longer than expected. Why is it taking so long for others to recognize you? Why does it feel like the world is passing you by while you remain in this quiet season? I understand this frustration, but hear this. The silence is not a punishment, nor is it an indication that you are not progressing. On the contrary, it is an essential part of your journey. God is working in the silence. He is preparing you for the weight of the recognition that will come. He is ensuring that you are spiritually, emotionally, and mentally equipped to handle the blessings He has in store for you. It is in this season of waiting that you are being refined, that you are being strengthened, and that you are learning to trust God more deeply. When the shift happens, it will be the result of God's perfect timing. It will be a natural transition, one that occurs not because you pushed for it, but because you remained faithful, grounded, and aligned with God's will. People will begin to see you differently, not because you changed, but because God's work in you has become evident. They will approach you with respect, not judgment. They will begin to speak to you in a way that acknowledges the divine authority you carry, and you will not have to prove anything to anyone. You will not need to explain yourself or defend your journey. The recognition will come in a way that feels natural, a recognition that has been years in the making. It will not be forced, and it will not be fleeting. It will be a lasting recognition that aligns with God's divine plan for your life. During this time, it is crucial to remain aligned with your purpose and not rush the process. Don't seek to change how others perceive you. And don't seek validation from those who are not aligned with your spiritual path. The right people will recognize your worth when the time is right, and they will approach you with respect and understanding. Your role is not to convince anyone of your worth. Your role is to continue walking in the path that God has set before you. Trust that He is guiding you, that He is preparing you, and that He is bringing the right people into your life at the right time. Shift will come, but it will come naturally. And when it does, it will be a beautiful affirmation of everything you have been walking through in the silence. This is the lesson chosen. One, stay steady, stay grounded, and stay aligned. Do not rush. Do not force recognition. Trust in God's timing. The shift is already happening beneath the surface. It's in the stillness, in the quiet moments, that the greatest transformations occur. When the time is right, everything will unfold as it should. Your job is to remain faithful, to keep moving forward, and to trust that the recognition will come not in your timing, but in God's. As you continue on this journey, trust that God is working behind the scenes, preparing you for the beautiful things that are ahead. When the shift happens, it will be exactly what you need at exactly the right time. Stay patient, stay aligned. The shift is coming, and it will be more powerful than you can imagine. Chosen one, I want to leave you with a final reminder that you are exactly where you need to be. Every moment of silence, every lingering stare, and every moment of stillness in your life is part of a divine process that is unfolding in perfect timing. God's plan for you is being revealed slowly, not because you are being overlooked or left behind, but because He is preparing you for something great. The silence you have been experiencing is not a sign of rejection or absence. It is redirection, a sacred pause where God is refining you, equipping you, and protecting you. Trust that this season, though quiet, is not a waste of time. It is a time of deep preparation, a time where God is working behind the scenes, shaping you for the purpose He has called you to fulfill. In these moments of silence, remember that God's timing is always perfect. He is the orchestrator of your journey, and every step you take is guided by His hand. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, God is quietly working in the background preparing you for what is to come. Trust that He is protecting you during this time, keeping you safe from distractions, premature recognition, and everything that would hinder your spiritual growth. You may not always see it, but behind every quiet moment, every unanswered question, and every stillness in the room, God is at work shaping your future, your destiny, and your spiritual strength. The silence is part of the divine order unfolding in your life. It is not punishment or neglect, but divine protection. It is the space where God refines your character, deepens your faith, and strengthens your resilience. In these moments, He is teaching you to trust Him more deeply, to walk with peace and assurance, and to remain steady in your purpose. Every quiet moment is a step forward in your journey, even if it doesn't feel like progress. God's plans are not always loud, and His movements are not always seen, but they are always at work. The silence you experience now is part of that work, and it is building something in you that will be revealed at just the right time. I want to encourage you, chosen one, to remain aligned with God's purpose for your life. Stay grounded in your faith and at peace with the process, knowing that you are not alone. God is with you in every moment of silence, every stare, every pause. His presence is with you, strengthening you, guiding you, and preparing you for the next season. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be, and that every moment, even those that feel quiet or uncertain, is part of the beautiful plan He's unfolding in your life. As we come to a close, I invite you to take a step of faith by commenting 444 below. This simple act is a declaration of alignment, a declaration that you are walking in divine purpose, fully trusting in God's timing and embracing the process. By commenting 444, you are affirming your readiness to step fully into the life that God has called you to without apology or hesitation. You are embracing the peace that comes with knowing that God is working behind the scenes, even when you can't see it. If this message has spoken to your spirit, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and share this message with others who need to hear it. Together, we will continue to walk in the divine purpose that has been set before us. As you move forward, carry this truth with you. You are not alone. You are being guided, protected, and prepared for what is to come. Walk in peace, walk in power, and walk in your purpose. Stay still, stay aligned, and trust that God is handling the rest. The shift is coming and you are ready. Keep moving forward, for you are exactly where you need to be.